and welcome to Wake and Bake News. This is Tuesday, May 3rd, 2016. And how are you this morning, stoners? I took some of that shake that I had left over from before I had buds and my very last bud, and I mixed it together. See? To spread it out. So I had some for this show. So here's my ashing and the debowler. Make sure all the holes are poked good because it is getting a little funky. All right, so my show's going to be short today because things are going so well. If you look at the news, it's nothing but it's opinion. And even the police blotters are kind of not, they're moving more and more south. You notice that a lot of the police blotters are starting to move south, right? So we still have them here in Southern California because this is an incredibly conservative area. Ventura County, LA is a very conservative area. So it doesn't surprise me that they're still toting the conservative line about how it's the evils of marijuana and all this kind of thing. But the truth is that they, like I was talking about yesterday, they have no idea that there's already a rout of their forces in progress. They're standing there going, everything's fine, you know. It just totally makes me think of all those World War II movies. The Longest Day. Normandy. You know, Normandy. They fucking hit Normandy. We totally didn't anticipate that. How many planes do we have near Normandy? 2. Okay, send them. That shit's funny. Okay, so let's take a look at this salad bowl. I can't even get it to work. I can't even get this camera to work. This camera is problem child camera. Oh, boy. Ah! Oh! 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 I got that sound from a movie called Scavenger Hunt. It's really funny. It's got Vincent Price at the beginning as like the owner of a game company, and he's dying, and he's got all these relatives he doesn't like very much and servants and stuff. So he just decides that he's going to give his wealth away to whoever wins his scavenger hunt. And there's this kid with glasses, part of the bad guy team, right? And he's always adjusting his glasses. Anyway, he makes his sound in one scene. Oh! He discovers something, and I laughed. That sound just made me, it still makes me laugh. Oh! It still makes me laugh to this day. That is a fucking funny movie if you ever get to see it. Scavenger Hunt. Oh my god, you will laugh. It's so stupid. It's stupid and fucking funny. Oh! Montclair, I would know him anywhere. My family loved it because they like played it on HBO a million times back in the 80s or something. Okay, 90s, I don't remember exactly when. This is cutting off the top of my head. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is not exactly a story, it's vaguely a story. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read to you some of the, in the past month, headlines that have been coming out about the DEA. And I want you to see if you can tell, and of course I'm going to talk through this, but if you can tell, see what I see, which is there's change afoot here. I'm not reading DEA bust major marijuana drug cartel. No, the flavor of these DEA stories has changed dramatically. So let's take a look at Google search here and see what we find.
Hello, stoners. I decided to do a little experiment. And what I decided to do was, let's see what happens when I put DEA in the news search engine for the past month. Let's see what sort of a story the headlines can tell us. DEA, deadly fentanyl surging in Allegheny County. In other words, fentanyl or whatever is a pill. FBI, DEA produce anti-heroin film, a pill. Sherman Van Alstyne collects hundreds of pounds of medication on the DEA's Take Back Day, when people were supposed to hand over their extra opioids and other drugs that are pills to the DEA. Drug Take Back Day successful in light of DEA arrests. DEA says Moorhead man is source of heroin. Got drugs? DEA Take Back Day is April 30th. Cartel payback. Texas woman falsely accused. Right? That's a police blotter. DEA law enforcement offer bleak outlook on opioid epidemic. DEA approves marijuana to help vets with PTSD. Is the DEA getting ready to reschedule marijuana? Local doctors and 8 other people implicated in DEA prosecution, probably for pills. Yep, oxycodone drug right there. Starting to see a trend. DEA officials collect unused medications for Take Back Day. Prince death investigation reportedly enlists DEA. I'm sure they're not investigating him for a marijuana overdose. More like something to do with, can you say it? Pills. Say it with me. Pills. Pharmaceuticals. Are you starting to see like a trend? I am. This is the last month. Stories about the DEA. Something is majorly happening. And the news is sort of paying attention to it, but not really. And certainly not telling marijuana enthusiasts, you have won. DEA's National Drug Take Back Day includes 4 Louisville blah 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 pills, picture of pills. Texas woman accused of lying that DEA agent corrupt. DEA approves first ever marijuana study for veterans. DEA approves study to examine using marijuana to treat PTSD. DEA U.S. consumes 99% of the world's hydrocodone. That's a pill. DEA 240 Street Gang operate in St. Louis area. The science behind the DEA's war on marijuana. That's a criticism of the DEA. FBI, all these other stories were backing up the DEA. They're talking about their new policies. The ones that you see, the science behind the DEA's long war on marijuana, Scientific America, remember I read that one? That was a criticism of their stance on marijuana. FBI, DEA produced documentary warning teens about heroin. I see something happening here, stoners, don't you? In the last month, suddenly, all the conversation has flipped away from marijuana and towards heroin, which is good, really good, and about the dangers of pharmaceuticals and how readily they're available everywhere in everybody's pharmacy. Everyone's a drug dealer. Grandma and grandpa are drug dealers because you can go to their medicine cabinet and get all the oxycodone or whatever the fuck it is that they have, Zoloft, that you want, that's left over, that some doctor fucking overprescribed them. So here in the news is giving away the game already, but they're not telling you what's actually happened. Maybe they don't even get it themselves. Maybe this is just another example of the robotic news agencies just running stuff verbatim from other news agencies without actually digesting it and thinking about what it may mean. There doesn't seem to be a lot of brain activity going on with these stories. They're just sort of blah blah happened, blah blah happened, and the United States has had prohibition since 1970. And then it's like we're going to have a history, lesson. We're going to have some comments from other stories that were written by other people, and that's the bulk of most of these stories. It's just BS. So I see the winds of change here. Now we're not talking about marijuana and blowing smoke up your ass. Now we're talking about pharmaceuticals.
So after looking at that, I don't hear the DEAs coming after medical marijuana. I don't hear the DEAs coming after legalized marijuana. Here's the two things I hear about marijuana in all of those 2 pages of stories or whatever it was. Number one, we figured out you're full of shit on the science of marijuana. Number two, they allowed a PTSD, what do you call it, research to be done on the efficacy of marijuana for PTSD. And all the rest are, we need to look out for this new opioid addiction thing. We beat them off. We beat them off. The crows beat off that hawk. Now beat off. No, but the crows basically ran them off, and now they're going to go find the seagull's nest, right? Because who's fat walking around and looking attractive? Pharmaceutical companies, and they just lost their major, the enforcer that they had, right? Along comes the spider, and the spider is the DOJ and the DEA. Well, along comes a spider, decided to not make a fictional bad guy in the world. Along comes a spider, decides to attack the government or the system itself. So now it's going to victimize these pharmaceutical companies, which in my opinion deserve it, because now they see there's tons of money to be made there, and the legalization movement for marijuana has beat them off quite readily. So now I'm going to read to you the best defense that the rubes can come up with here from Reason TV on why we haven't beaten the shit out of them. Okay, so there's a study about to come out in teen adolescent psychology or health or some shit, and they're going to talk about the results from Washington. Now, I agree these are early results and should be taken with a certain amount of caution, but I do not agree that with their conclusion at the end of this Reason article, and you're going to hear it, I just call this guy a fucking idiot because his arguments for things are ridiculous. And of course, at the end, you get to the end and you go, well, maybe he knew that. But of course, the entirety of the argument through the entire article seems to be very much attempting to float the prohibitionist boat, which can't, because it's over on its side. The captain had his dinner, got in a launch, and floated away while the rest of you were still trying to find some fucking water wings. The DEA had their dinner with their girlfriend, wiped their mouths. Captain went down to a launch. Captain, ship's in trouble. Get my boat ready. Goes to the boat and zips away to the shore and stands there directing the rescue from there. Because the DEA and the DOJ just dumped marijuana prohibition in the trash. I wasn't sure what the DEA was going to decide this coming summer, but now I'm starting to see what it is. The winds of change, you certainly can smell them. Okay, so let me now read to you this Reason video, or this Reason whatever blog, Hit and Run, where this guy does this. And I can't tell if it's trolling me or what, but I'm going to argue with every stupid fucking thing that's said and assume that the author meant what he said. But the end does make you think that, oh, maybe he was just trolling. Okay, so let's check.
Marijuana legalization did not initially boost underage access in Washington. The percentage of students who say pot is easy to get shows little change in recent years. This is reason.com, May 3rd, 2016. Survey data from Washington indicates that legalizing marijuana for adults 21 and older in that state did not initially make it easier for teens to obtain the drug, but that finding should be interpreted with caution, since the most recent numbers from the 2014, the first year of legalized recreational sales, which did not begin with the middle of the year, according to the Washington State Health Youth Survey, which is conducted in even-numbered years, 66% of high school seniors said it would be sort of easy or very easy for them to obtain marijuana in 2014, the same as in 2012, when voters approved legalization. During the same period, that figure rose slightly for 10th graders from 51% to 53%, fell for 8th graders from 26% to 21%, and stayed the same for 7% of 6th graders. Overall, reports ease of access has been essentially flat since 2008. The same survey indicated that past month marijuana use stayed the same or fell slightly in all grades between 2012 and 2014. Oop. Jump around time. Come on, little computer. Stop having a spazbot moment. Too many things trying to load usually on these stupid pages. Everything. Look at how it's just so spastic and uncontrolled. There you go. Too many ads. All these news agencies are nothing but prostitutes. An upcoming article in the Journal of Adolescent Health, previewed at the pediatric conference in Baltimore on Sunday, notes that the share of 10th graders reporting easy access to marijuana was essentially the same in 2014, 53%, as in 2010, 54%. It is both surprising and reassuring that teens didn't perceive that marijuana was easier to access after it was legalized for recreational use by adults, said one of the study's authors, New York pediatrician Andrew Aidsman, in a press release from the American Academy of Pediatrics, AAP. Now, stoners, we're probably going to hear some sort of because it's Reason TV, we're going to hear analysis of this. But I would go with the quote from the pediatric guy. That pretty much finalizes it right there. But I'm sure they're going to make some sort of interpretation that will cause us all to worry. Tiki's biting on things. That APP press release headlined "Legalization of Marijuana in Washington State shown to have had no effect on teens' access to the drug," leads to some reports that exaggerated the significance of the study's findings, according to High Times' Adsman and his colleagues say, you see, here it's where they're going to try now to tamp out the excitement. And that's why I went with this story, because they're not wrong to do that. You don't necessarily have to do cartwheels over this, because it's going to take, well, like Mason Tevert said, or not Mason Tevert, that other guy, I'm sorry, I keep getting them confused. What's his name from Sam, right? That creep. Okay, he keeps saying it's going to take him 15 years to prove that this is damaging the teens. So this is just another excuse to give themselves a job for the next 10 years of proving nothing, then at the end going, oh, well, I tried. We're going to now look into crystal balls, everyone. While the Weed blog reported that the research found marijuana legalization does not make it easier for teens to get marijuana, such conclusions are premature, even though we're not scientists, and you just heard a quote from the scientists, but let us try to rain on this parade. The 2014 survey was conducted in mid-October, just 3.5 months after legal recreational sales began. Before then, recreational consumers were allowed to possess marijuana, but they had no legal way to obtain it since Washington allows home cultivation only for medical use. Yeah, that sounds like they have a way to obtain it. First red flag in your explanation. First sign your explanation's bullshit. Uh, you, we have cultivators springing up all over Ventura right now. You could tell that they're new because there is a learning curve they're obviously going through. But the county of Ventura has invited a ton of people to get into the marijuana agricultural business by having bans. So, first red flag, this idiot thinks that when you grow personally, that creates a lack of access to marijuana. You're a moron. What dream are you having there, dude? Okay, but they had no legal way to obtain it. Yeah, except for the totally legal growers all around them that could just either give, sell, or trade. So, whatever you think is happening. Since Washington allows home cultivation only for medical use, furthermore, the opening of state licensed marijuana shops was a gradual process, with just a few operating initially. The 2016 survey, in other words, when there's more marijuana shops, like there's liquor stores on every fucking corner, somehow that will make a difference. See, bullshit argument number 2. This is easy. I like reason. I can just knock them down. I'd love to have combated with them in a junior high school debate class. This is fun. Now I'm having fun. When it comes to the availability of marijuana to teenagers, two things can be expected to happen when legal merchants replace black market dealers, something that has not happened yet in Washington, which still has a thriving black market. Which, what in the fuck are you even talking about now? Okay, let's back up. Is this moron about to try to argue that legal providers are going to be selling to teens when black marketeers wouldn't? Is that, I'm just, let's read it again because I'm not sure what this idiot's saying. When it comes to the availability of marijuana to teenagers, two things can be expected to happen when legal merchants replace black market dealers, something that hasn't happened yet in Washington, which still has a thriving black market, largely because taxes and regulation put licensed dealers at the competitive disadvantage. First, minors will have more difficulty buying marijuana. Oh, thank you. Yes, that is what we're trying to do here, directly from retailers. Exactly. Since legal merchants risk losing their licenses if they sell to customers younger than 21. Second, minors will have more opportunity to obtain marijuana indirectly from adult buyers. You have now your head in your butt. Now you have your head in your butt. Oh my goodness. I worked on the playground in California, son. I worked with troubled teens. And I'm here to tell you, you have your head firmly planted in your rectum. We didn't have a problem with alcohol. People drank, kids drank. Yes, we caught kids drinking. I even found whiskey on the property. But that probably didn't belong to the kids. It belonged to the bums that lived at the corner of the school and had some sort of an encampment of poor people because Ventura County does not take care of their poor. They try to shuffle them off underneath a grave somewhere. Go off and die somewhere near the railroad tracks where we can't see you die. This guy has his head in his fucking ass now. Because now he's talking about shit I know about. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Do you know what they do? They urine test kids, moron. Kids that get busted with weed get urine tests. That's why they're turning to oxycodone, fucktard. Fucktard, moron. That's why they're turning to fucking fake marijuana and shit. Because it doesn't show up on the fucking urine test. Because they're ankleting and urine testing all these fucking kids. You're a fucking moron from Reason TV who doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. Let's see what else dipwad moron has to say. With or without the latter's consent. Yeah, so in other words, there's going to be a million adults hanging out in front of dispensaries going, "Hey kid, you want me to buy you a pack? You want me to buy you a pack of fucking smokes?" Like I was saying, this guy is a fucking idiot, man. Okay, let's hear what else moron has to say. What is this fucking idiot's name? Jack Sullum. Jack, You're a moron. Jacob, whatever the fuck your name is, you're a moron. You never worked with a troubled teen in your goddamn life. You never fucking busted teens in a classroom for being high on shit. You never worked with cops. You never worked in a school. And I can smell the stink of stupidity and fucking idiocy on you. You just sit there trying to calculate shit, don't you? You're a spin artist, motherfucker, and I can smell it on your ass. You reek of stupidity. It may be significant that the percentage of Washington teenagers who say it was hard to get alcohol or cigarettes rose from 2012 to 2014, while no such trend was apparent for marijuana. Anderson, yeah, because the black market still exists. This guy's a fucking idiot. Adsman called that contrast interesting and somewhat concerning. It might indicate that current public health efforts around drug abuse prevention may be less effective for marijuana than other substances. Holy shit, are you just spinning that in the bull? Oh my god, what a fucking lie. What a fucking lie. What a way to try to spin that. You suck. You're kidding me. The reason why kids still have access to marijuana and not alcohol and cigarettes is because you're not doing enough drug prevention about marijuana. How about there's still a black market, shithead? What a bunch of fucktard morons. Did they really think this turd was gonna fucking float in the toilet? No. Ooh, boy, this thing reeks. Jacob Sullum, you suck. They should fire you, dumbass. What a fucked up bullshit fucking, and that's why. Yeah, bullshit, motherfucker. Let's see. As the AP press release puts it, then again, it may reflect the continuing role of the black market in which dealers do not card their customers. Yeah, you might think that, huh? So whatever all that other shit was, that's nice. Whatever you felt like writing. But obviously the end sentence is the truth, and you knew that. That's why you put it there.
Okay, now, the last thing I'm going to leave you with is really the most fun. I'm going to leave you with Ron White on Getting Dug with High. Ron White. I'm going to say it again. Ron White. Not Jack Black. Not Jack Black, who pretends to be a stoner and is just a really good actor and has entertained us for many years. But Ron White, who did all that, sort of I can't remember what the hell the tour was, but it was hilarious where they did all the sort of hillbilly jokes and stuff like that. And Larry the Cable Guy was on the tour and everything like this. It was on Comedy Central. It was hilarious. I loved it. It was really funny. But I took those as a cartoon character of what people who live in the South are really like. Just like stoners are a cartoon character of stoners. Usually Cheech and Chong is a cartoon character of stoners. I don't really think that's what people are like. But it's fun to laugh at those jokes. It always has been. I remember my grandparents laughing at Hee Haw way back when, and all Hee Haw ever did was make fun of how inbred us hillbillies were, because secretly we knew damn well what we were. They used to say in my family, one leg shorter than the other from walking on the side of hills, Okay, so Ron White is as accepted by the conservatives and the hillbillies as you can possibly get. As you can possibly get. He is beloved by them as a comedian. Okay? We love him. We love his shows and stuff. We wish he wouldn't drink as much. We worry terribly about that. I hope that's tea in there, man. I hope that's tea. But I was, yeah. Okay, so remember, Mr. Leahy's really good at pretending to be drunk on stage, and he does claim that he actually was drunk on stage, but I still have to say, talk about having a reputation to defend kind of thing. I hope he's not drinking that much. So you stay high, and goodbye. This is a short one because it's fun. I'm explaining to you what's happening now. Since we found out where we're at with the political fight, we're sitting pretty. You're going to hear a lot of Mark Schnell, blah, blah, all this kind of stuff coming from prohibitionists. Rouse. Things like California getting ready to crack down on medical marijuana. It's bullshit. It's just like bullshit. There is no cavalry coming now. Think about that. There is no cavalry coming now. Comedians are starting to come out of the closet, smoke pot on camera because they know they better get on the other side of the fence real damn quick before this war's over. They're going to get caught. And people will go, oh, yeah, that guy, you know, he's part of that old generation. You're already starting to see it happening all around you. And you hear politicians saying in other states, I think Vermont is voting today on legalization. Vermont. I know that in this show, Doug talks about a southern state that's getting ready to probably, you know, regulate like alcohol. And then Ron White himself even pops off with, you know, owning marijuana should be like a surfboard. If you can build it and ride it, you get to own it. If you want to trade it, sell it, that's your fucking right. If you could build a surfboard, you get to own it. I think that also probably would very nicely fit in with a lot of the gun argument and states' rights. And states' rights are not about a strong federal government. You know, states' rights and strong federal government don't exist on the same planet together. So it's one or the other. And I think we've decided it's states' rights. So I'm going to leave you with a little piece of this, and I suggest you go watch the entirety of it. I love Getting Doug with High. I enjoy that show so much. I keep missing the fucking live broadcast. It's like every once in a while I could catch the live broadcast. But if you can't see it live, it's so fun to watch the comments go by, you know, and things have changed in the last year or two I've been watching it. Things have changed a lot on the show. Not particularly the set or the way they set up anything. The comments aren't as stupid. You don't hear people going, how come they're not smoking pot? You know, how come they're not taking more bong tokes? What a pussy. All that shit's kind of gone the way of the dodo now. And people are just more like joking about other stuff. And I remember when the show first started, it was like, they need to smoke more. What the fuck they sitting there talking about? Because it was like a contest kind of thing when it first started. Like who's going to smoke pot on camera and how much. And now it's like they showed up on the show. That's what fucking counts. They showed up on the show, you know. So think about all the stars that you've seen in the last year come out talking about weed and want to get on the other side of that fence very quickly before they get their nuts caught in the door of history, because their publicists are going to have a terrible time. You know, their handlers, their managers or whatever, their agent is going to have a terrible time getting them in that new big How Marijuana Got Legal in the United States film that's going to come out of Hollywood in like, say, 5-6 years if they are on the wrong side of this thing now. See? People are thinking ahead now. People see what's coming and they're starting to plan ahead. The stuff that's in the newspaper is propaganda bullshit and police blotters. They're wasting your time. Most of those fucking articles are written by robots, and if you actually read them, you will see that most of it is pasted and put together. It's bullshit. It's easy to figure out stupid shit. So you stay high, and goodbye. And I will see you tomorrow with something else interesting on marijuana to talk about. But right now, like I said, I'm taking it easy. We don't have to rush. It's like the end of that movie, Trading Spaces. You know, or not Trading Spaces, Trading Places. See how I fuck up the names of these things? Okay, Trading Places, Eddie Murphy, right? They were going to trade these, they were going to trick them into a stock thing, right? So at the end, they're like, sell, 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 right? Everybody's on the stock exchange floor. Sell, 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 sell. Ah. Then when the stock report comes out, boom, everything flips. And then they're like, buy. Buy, like this. And that's how I feel right now, is that all of these stories are stocks, and I'm deciding which ones to buy and which ones to not buy. And the ones I don't buy are worth less. Because right now, your stories on the internet about fear and loathing or the danger for kids or unsafe driving or any of this kind of is now done. It's over. The crop report came out, and it turned out you are on the wrong side of the sucker. And anything you say from this moment on is just a waste of your breath when you should actually be finding an exit so that you have a soft landing at the end of this thing. More than likely, you're not doing that. Others apparently are. So every morning now I get up and look at the news, and instead of rushing desperately and grabbing stories, now I'm like, buy, because I have the foresight to see where we're at. And most of these people won't have it figured out until next November. So let's take a look at Ron White on getting dug with high, and I will see you tomorrow. You stay high, like I said, and goodbye.
Basement, and I'm so excited today because we got a great old bee, as I like to say, and an amazing newbie. And Ron White and Josh Blue are here.
Which one am I?
My alarm didn't go off for some reason, probably because I put AM instead of PM or something. But it's time, you guys. Uh-oh. Something's happening. I think I'm glad I don't have any plans for the rest of today.
Yeah,
because the bottle has come out. And this.
He didn't trust your shit, man.
I didn't even trust your grinder.
Well, I'm glad that I left some of the pipes empty. I haven't preloaded all of them because
here I rolled this.
You got something, and you rolled something too.
Yeah, because sometimes it's better for Josh to smoke a joint because you can't break it.
Well, is that a challenge, Ron?
That would be an honor if Josh Blue broke one of our pipes live on the show.
No problem. Give me that joint back here.
I'll break them all, dog.
3.5 years.
What are we dealing with? Is it just...
Yeah, just grab one, dude. And this is coming back around, too.
Oh, fuck. Oh, Jesus. Turn the cameras off for a sec.
Okay, don't show this part.
Oh, God. Yep. Don't show me helping my friend. I don't want people to know I help my friends.